Good morning, student. In the previous classes, we have studied about the digestion. So, what is the digestion? Let's just recall that the process by which food is broken down into simpler forms, which can be easily utilized by the body, is called the digestion. Again, the definition of digestion: the process by which food is broken down into simpler forms which can be easily utilized by the body is called a digestion. What were the organs that were involved in the digestion? So first organ which was involved in the digestion was mouth. Mouth helped to bite and chew the food, and it also used to mix saliva, which is a digestive use, which break starch present in the food into sugar. And we have learned the equation also: starch mixed with saliva convert into sugar. Then the secondary organ was the oesophagus or the food pipe, which helped to push the food from mouth to the stomach through its wave-like motion, that is contraction and relaxation of the food pipe. The stomach used is a sac-like structure which helps in the digestion, where the digestion of food took place. It contains some digestive juices, hydrochloric acid and mucus. Next we came into small intestine, where the semi-digested food reaches along with the mucus, and the digestion of food is completed. Now we will today talk about a very important topic, that is absorption. What is absorption? So absorption, let us see a definition. The simple definition of absorption is the process by which simpler soluble product of digestion are absorbed by the body. Again we will see the definition: the process by which simpler soluble product of digestion are absorbed by the body is called a absorption. Okay. Next, where the absorption take place and when it take place. So let us see. The process of digestion is completed in the small intestine. The process of digestion is complete in the small intestine. The soluble nutrition have to be absorbed. So the absorption of the nutrition happens in the small intestine. Where the absorption of nutrition take place? The absorption of the nutrition happen in the small intestine. And what are the organs that work for it? For this purpose, the lining of the small intestine bear a several finger-like projection called villi. A finger-like projection are present in the small intestine. Again I am repeating, a finger-like structure are present in the small intestine, which are called villi. What are villi? Villi are the finger-like projection present in the small intestine that increase the surface area for absorption. What does the villi do? Villi increase the surface area of the absorption. Next, the small intestine also contain an abundance of fine blood vessel. The small intestine contains a small fine blood vessel along its wall. These blood vessels carry the nutrition absorbed by the small intestine to the rest of the body. So once the nutrition are absorbed by the walls of the small intestine, the blood vessel present in the walls of the small intestine carry the nutrition to the rest of the body. Now, once whole of the nutrition is completed, some of the undigested food material which is remained in the small intestine, it is passed into the large intestine. Once the absorption of the food is completed, the undigested food is then sent to the large intestine. The undigested food is sent to the large intestine. I think so you have got it. Now, once the absorption is took place, some of the material, minerals and water is remained in the undigested food. Once the absorption is completed, some of the minerals and water still remains in the undigested food. So what happened to these? This water and some minerals are absorbed by the walls of large intestine. So most of the nutrition is completed in small intestine, and remaining water and minerals are absorbed by the walls of large intestine. So again I am repeating, what is the absorption? The absorption is a process by which simpler soluble product of digestion are absorbed by the body. Where the absorption of food takes place, the absorption of nutrition takes place in the small intestine. What happens? What helps in the absorption? A finger-like projection called villi that are present in the small intestine help in the absorption by increasing the surface area for the absorption. Once the absorption is happened, so then the blood vessel carry the nutrition from a small intestine to the rest of the body. Then what does the large intestine do? The large intestine absorb. What happens to what does the large intestine do? The undigested material is then sent to the large intestine. So large intestine absorbs the water and the remaining nutrition through its wall. Next, we will learn about our next topic, that is assimilation. So already we have learned about the definition of assimilation. Just we will recall it out. What is assimilation? The assimilation is the process by which the absorbed substance are utilized by the body. What is assimilation? Assimilation is a process by which absorbed substance are utilized by the body. The nutrition are absorbed, like in the previous absorption what we have seen, that small intestine absorb the nutrition and blood vessel carries this nutrition to the various parts of the body. So where now we will look where they are utilized and in what way they are utilized by the body. So the final product of carbohydrate is glucose. The final product of carbohydrate is glucose. It is broken down into sugar to produce the final product of the carbohydrate digestion is glucose. The final product of the carbohydrate digestion is glucose. It is further broken down in the cell in the presence of oxygen to produce energy. So what happens to the carbohydrate? Carbohydrate is broken down into glucose, which is used by the cell, or which is broken by the cell in the presence of oxygen to produce energy. So where do we get the energy? We get the energy from the carbohydrate. How do we get the energy? We get the energy when the carbohydrate digestion occurs. So it is converted into glucose, and this glucose is further broken down in cell so to produce energy. What happens to the protein? So to protein, the final product of protein digestion is amino acid. Protein break down into amino acid, which is used to repair worn out tissue whenever we get hurt or whenever we have some of the injuries. So protein is converted into amino acid, and these amino acids are used to repair our worn out tissue or the cells. And then what happens to the fat? Fat is converted into fatty acid and glycerol. What happens to the fat? Fat is converted into fatty acid and glycerol. These are stored as energy reserve in the body. These are stored as the energy reserve in the body. Last process of nutrition in human being is digestion. So what is digestion? Let us recall. Digestion is the process by which the undigested material is removed from the body. So what happens when complete absorption of the food takes place? The unwanted or the undigested material which is present in the large intestine becomes semi-solid and are stored in the rectum. The undigested material is stored in the rectum, as we have seen in the diagram of, or you can refer to the diagram of digestive system. So the unwanted semi-solid is stored in the rectum, and they are thrown out of the body as feces through the anus, and these are thrown out of the body through anus. Now you can complete this exercise. Now you can look at these exercises. These are already filled, so you have to just complete through this. You can pause the video and you can complete this exercise in your book, and you have to learn these exercises. And as this explanation of this chapter will over, I will attach the PDF of the question answer of chapter 1 in the next video.